Hello and welcome back to my political commentary series. My name is Victoria, and today we are going to be talking about the US tariff implementation and the summary of that. So, unless you've been living under a rock, February 1st, Donald Trump signed executive orders imposing a 25% tariff on all imports from Canada, with a reduced 10% tariff specifically on our energy products. So, they were justified by the US administration as necessary to address the illegal immigration and the influx of fentanyl into the United States. So, in response, Prime Minister Trudeau said that he was going to implement counter tariffs, and on February 3rd, President Trump agreed to pause the implementation of the tariffs, pursuant to us beefing up our borders to prevent illegal immigration and fentanyl trafficking. That was on the 3rd. On the 5th, Canada's Minister of National Defence, Bill Blair, who also happens to be a Liberal MP, said, actually, no, we're not going to be deploying troops to the US border. That was a really quick turnaround. So, Mr. Blair clarified that the Canadian Armed Forces will not be deployed to the Canadian-US border because he says that we need to emphasize the importance of effective policing to address those issues of illicit drug trafficking and migration, and says that it's not required. That's his quote. We're not deploying Canadian armed forces to our border because it's not what's required. How is effective policing being emphasized when there's a fentanyl crisis occurring for the last several years that's been emphasized in the last year alone with the decriminalization of hard drugs, specifically here in BC, and lacks immigration policies? Where's the emphasis on effective policing? Like, I can't say it with a straight face. It's laughable, it's ridiculous, it's embarrassing. Now, currently, BC is led by an NDP leader, Premier David Eby. His countermeasure for addressing the tariff situation is suspension of US liquor purchase from only red states. Not even all of America, just the ones who voted for Trump. I can't stress how much the NDP party of BC is making Canada look like a joke. I don't have any other way to put it. Their response to America, showcasing how weak our government is banning liquor. Not from all of America, just the red states. And so they're still supporting the American economy, and while liquor sales do contribute about $1 billion to the US from Canada annually, it's not even one of our main, top imports from the States. It's not even that effective in their economy. The top imports from America to BC, what we're really affecting their economy positively with, is when we're buying their zinc ore, their computers, their petroleum, their cars, and what surprised me was knit sweaters. That's what's really coming into BC. That's, encouraging the American economy. So rather than addressing industries like energy and mining and, the automotive industry, Premier David Eby says, we're just gonna stop alcohol from some of the states. What? Rather than focusing on how to bolster the national-wide trade and, a self-sufficient economy, the Premier would rather cry about the US tariffs having us lose $69 billion in economic activity between this year and 2028, which, that's not a small number. But if we're being honest, the United States has had the power to cripple us like this economically for a long time. And so when we as a nation aren't pulling our own weight, when we're not securing our borders or rehabilitating our citizens from deadly drugs, and instead we're letting drug cartels run our country's borders for us, it's not a surprise that our neighboring nation would reprimand us in a tangible way. We're not pulling our weight. I started making these videos to try and give a very fair and unbiased opinion on the political situation in Canada right now. But looking at this specific situation, I don't know how anyone who does research or reads the news or uses critical thinking is supposed to look at this situation and think that the NDP or Liberal parties have any idea what constitutes an effective policy at all. That being said, I will be making a second part to this video where we will see what the Conservative Party of BC actually has planned to counter the US tariffs coming in.